Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Am I the A-hole? This one's from user Hectic Kitten. Am I the a-hole for abandoning my friend or roommate and possibly leaving him homeless? I, 21 female, live with my best friend, 21 male, Dan. We've been friends 3 years and moved in together about a year and a half ago. It was okay for a bit, but it's gone to crap. I keep up on chores while also cleaning up after myself. Dan does not. He's inconsistent with chores, rarely vacuums, never sweeps, doesn't keep up on his dishes, cleans his cat's litter box twice a month. This is an issue as the washer and dryer are in his bathroom. There is often litter and sometimes feces on the ground from one of the cats kicking it out. We have 3 cats. I've talked to him and even started a chore chart, but it was forgotten and nothing changed. I've started to feel used. Dan depends on me, cleaning the house, taking care of his diabetic cat, putting his new car on the lease. 3 weeks ago, I told him I was no longer taking care of him. I told him we needed to split ways after the lease ended in November 2021, as it felt our friendship was suffering. 2 weeks ago, he was house sitting and asked me to get the mail because he had a package. I was on my way home from work, and it was pouring when he asked. I hate the trek to the mailbox, especially in the rain. I decided to do it the next day, but my mental health got bad and I couldn't get out of bed. At 9 PM, I texted him and apologized for not getting the mail. He seemed upset and said he needs the mail and he can't get it until 11 PM when he's off work. I snapped. I felt I was being guilted. I know we both need to check the mail, but this was the final straw. I told him it wasn't my responsibility, and it ended with me telling him I wanted to move out as soon as possible and not be friends. He was fine with it and refused to talk to me. He told me he'd be moving in with a friend, and I started to figure out things on my end. I talked to my leasing office and got on a list to get a 1-bedroom unit. I checked with Dan 2 separate times about moving. He told me that his plans were solid and he was adamant about not finishing the lease. I found out I could get my apartment by the end of this month and asked Dan if this would work for him. He said yes. The next morning he came to talk to me. He wanted to fix our relationship and stay till the end of the lease. This was a complete 180 from what he said before. He told me the person he was moving in with could only let him stay until May because she's selling her house and said he didn't have anywhere to go after that. I held firm on moving out, but said I was open to fixing our relationship. I told him he could get on a list for a 1-bedroom apartment in the complex and stay with the friend until then. I emphasized that I need this for my own sake. When I talked to my girlfriend about this, she made me feel like I was an a-hole for abandoning my friend and essentially leaving him homeless. I feel conflicted because I care about Dan, but I think it's time for him to grow up. I also feel he was disingenuous about wanting to fix our relationship and only wanted to do so because his plans fell through. Am I the a-hole? The judgment is not the a-hole. Now let's take a look at the top comments. Garo SCP says, take the 1 bed, he's only thinking of himself, not the a-hole. May your housemate be forced to recycle used baby nappies by hand for a full calendar year for being so self-absorbed. Caribe92 says, not the a-hole. I agree with the last sentence. As soon as he settles with his roommate, he's cutting you off. He just wants to play nice until things work out for him. At the end of it, it's you that has to live with him and deal with this. Your plans are already in place, so if I was you, I'd move. From the sound of it, that friendship isn't going to last, so you're just making yourself miserable for nothing. And November 2021 is a long time. Diligent Penguin 16 says, how are you leaving him houseless? He has 2 housing options available to him right now. He can take over your current apartment without you, or have someone else move in as his new roommate. Or he can move into his friend's home for the next 4 months until he finds a new place. If he can't get his living situation sorted in the next 4 months, then that's a him problem. Don't set yourself on fire to keep him warm. Living with him is having a negative impact on your mental health and comfort at home. It's okay to prioritize your needs over his convenience, not the a-hole. OP, I absolutely agree with the commenters. You are not the a-hole. You've done everything you can to actually make this thing work. You carried that household for a really long time until it broke you. That was it. Dan was just all comfortable having you do all the housework and he was doing nothing. You know, it was the perfect setup for him. A lazy guy like that who doesn't clean up after himself, living with somebody like you. Fantastic, right? And now that his plans fell through, he wants to rekindle your friendship? How old is this guy anyways? I mean, you say 21, but he sounds like a 5-year-old. No, OP, you're definitely not the a-hole and your girlfriend is wrong. Because you are not leaving him homeless or houseless or whatever. He's an adult and he has a job. I mean, he can figure things out by himself, right? And in the really long shot that he can't figure things out, then he's got Google and YouTube to look for a tutorial on how to adult. But as you guys know, and like it says on my mugs, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Well, while you think about that, let's move on with the update to see what ended up happening. I held firm on Dan and I moving as soon as we could. He didn't seem happy about this, but didn't complain too much. As I suspected, after having that conversation, he went back to how he'd been treating me before. I decided after a few days of this to have a talk with him. I addressed how it felt as if he did a 180 after his plans fell through, and how his reach out to repair the friendship felt disingenuous. He denied all of it and refused to validate any of my feelings. I found this interesting because he is notorious for preaching about validating others' feelings. After that conversation, he began to move his things out to the place he's staying at temporarily. He told me he took his name off the list for the one-bedroom apartment because he'd rather find someone else to live with in May. He moved all of his things out 2 weeks ago and I've been at the apartment by myself since. Of course, after his things were out, I told him he'd be responsible for cleaning his room and bathroom. I asked him to clean the walls in his room as he smoked copious amounts of weed in there and I didn't want to get grilled by the apartment complex for the residue lingering on the walls. He did a half-assed job of course and left the bathroom half-assed too. He came to grab his W-2s from the house last weekend and I asked him to redo the walls, but he forgot by the time he left. He also had a huge stack of dishes that he conveniently forgot to take care of when he originally moved his things out. On top of all that, he lost the parking pass we got for the apartment, and now that's a $50 bill coming out of the deposit that I paid on my own. I told him if I get charged for any damages caused by him, he melted a hole in the carpet of his room, he'd be paying me back. We'll see if he follows through. I am at peace with us not repairing the friendship and quite frankly, don't want to. After all of this came to light, I realized that even prior to living together, Dan was using me. I got my keys to my new place yesterday, and I move everything tomorrow. I'm of course taking all the cats, and they will be loved and cared for as they so rightfully deserve. To touch on the girlfriend situation, we're long distance currently, so she didn't know the extent of the situation. She is very angered by his actions and how he's treated me after I let her in on more of what happened. Thank you for the support I received. It helped me do what's best for myself. Well, OP, good riddance to a crappy friend. It clearly was an unbalanced relationship. If he was constantly using you, he was not your best friend. So that's good for you. Not only are you getting a new place where you can live by yourself, but you also got rid of a really bad friend who you don't need in your life. I do have to say, OP, that I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for him to pay you if he did any damage that you're getting charged for. Unless you have any kind of legal document where you can pressure him with. If not, then by the way you described him, I would assume he's going to try to play dumb and ghost you. But of course, that's just my opinion. Anyways, there's still a little bit of time left on the video, so how about we squeeze in another post? This one's from user Beneficial Poetry 74. Am I the a-hole for ruining my child's gender reveal? Myself, 27 male, and my wife, 27 female, are having a boy. We already have a girl who is now 2. My wife is really into films, Oscar-type films, and she is like an analyzer when watching them, so she wanted to make a gender reveal short film. 10 minutes long to say we were having a girl. Kind of weird, but I went along with it. We posted it and she was super happy with it, but it cost so much. She hired expensive cameras, we drove out to scenic areas for the right shot. I'm working full time during this process. Exhausting. So we just found out that we're having a boy and she started writing a script. I thought there's no effing way I'm doing that again, so I posted on Facebook, we're having a boy. She's pissed at me, telling me to delete it, but the damage is done. I don't feel bad. I saved us at least £4,000. What I don't get is why she's just making films about gender reveals. She can write a script about anything and not be on a strict 6 to 7 month time limit. Am I the a-hole? The judgment is not the a-hole. Now let's take a look at the top comments. Be Super Good says, not the a-hole. Maybe not a popular opinion, but £4,000 is ridiculous, and so are gender reveals in general. Helen790 says, everybody sucks here. £4,000 could have gone into a savings account for the kid's future. Instead, she wants to make a video announcing what genitals the baby has? That's ridiculous. But communicating is kinda super important in relationships. So Valkyrie Mama says, everybody sucks here. Her for wanting to spend £4,000 on a gender reveal, and you for spilling the news ahead of time. Calm communication would have been a much better route to take. Well, I'm going to agree with anyone that said that everybody sucks here. OP, you suck because you spilled the beans before time. You should have talked to your wife if you didn't want her to do a movie, dude. You need to talk, not just go ahead and do things. And your wife sucks because she wants to spend $4K on a gender reveal? Yeah, I think you and your wife both failed at communicating properly. Anyways, let's move on with the update to see what happened after this. I want to thank everyone for your comments, especially the guy who messaged me about circumcision. While the final decision was not the a-hole, the people saying you're the a-hole and everybody sucks here had better arguments, so I went with that. I spoke to my wife and apologized for posting it. I did delete it around a day after it was posted, but like I said, the damage was done. It was more symbolic than anything. I asked why she only wanted to make gender reveal films, and she said that she thought it was the only thing I'd agree to. No clue what gave her that idea, but whatever. I said we can do a short film about anything once the baby's out. She is excited about that and we're brainstorming ideas already. The reason it was so expensive was because everything was hired on such short notice. Camera equipment, actors, etc. Shooting location was mostly public property, so we're good there. Some people asked what the films were about. The first was about a witch who had a bastard child with the king. The king ordered his men to kill the witch and the baby, and then it's revealed to be a baby girl who saves the day, kills the king and his men because she's basically a demi-goddess. She was the witch, I was the king. The second was Supermanesque. It was unfinished. And there it is, the deserving outcome of proper communication. Good for you, OP. You mended your relationship with your wife, and you were also able to address the short film thing, and now you are both excited about the project. And that's it for this video. I truly hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you feel like chatting with others from this community, you can always join my Discord server and check out my subreddit. I'll leave links in the description. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.